Not a big story, but an illuminating one. Did you see this viral video? It was from Hungary, a stampede of migrants illegally rushing through the country en route to the big welfare payouts promised by Germany. But this one TV camera woman named Petra Laszlo didn't just film the migrants, she tripped a couple of them who were running, including a dad carrying a child. Just nuts. I mean, look, it's fair to be skeptical of these migrants. I am. But seriously, a journalist tripping someone, and of all people, tripping the one migrant who's actually carrying a child? That's nuts. I think that's actually the crime of assault. No surprise she was fired by her company, N1 TV. But here's the little vignette. Paul Wells of Maclean's magazine tweeted that story and wrote, quote, "The moral divide in Europe is pretty stark. Has Ezra taken up a collection for the camera woman yet?" What? Pardon me? Now look, Paul Wells is no fan of mine because I embarrass him by constantly showing this picture of him yucking it up with his friend Justin Trudeau, which I take as evidence of what I call the media party, journalists who have a pro-liberal bias. Wells hates that, but really, I'm with a baby tripper? Look, I'm a dad myself. There's no parent alive who would trip another parent carrying a baby. Hopefully Paul will learn that kind of love one day if he ever has kids of his own. I'm against illegal immigration and welfare scammers and fake refugees, but come on, I'd support an assault. I'd raise money for someone who tripped a babe in arms. But look at Wells' opening line there. The moral divide in Europe is pretty stark. See, that's what this whole story is for Paul Wells and most of the media, an opportunity to show just how morally superior they are. One journalist might say, we ought to take 10,000 of these migrants. But he doesn't actually mean that he wants to take them himself, let someone sleep on his couch. No, he just means someone else should do all that, but he'll be the armchair saint, pretending to be helping, and he'll take the moral credit. So the next journalist has to say, well, I can beat that, 20,000 migrants. It's a bidding war, really, where each slacktivist outdoes the other, rhetorically. None of them actually help anyone. This isn't about actual migrants or refugees. It's a peacock parade, a contest of moral preening by liberal journalists and politicians to see who can outbid each other for who cares more. But here's my point today. See, last month, I don't know if you remember, we interviewed Majed El Shafie of the One Free World International. You might recall he literally goes to this war-torn region and saves true refugees, the victims, not the bullies, not the packs of healthy, free, young, military-age Muslim men now rushing to Germany for their welfare. Majed El Shafie doesn't care about the wolves, he cares about the lambs. He literally rescues the young Yazidi girls who are rape slaves of the Islamic State terrorists. He redeems those rape victims. He frees them. He gets them out of there to freedom. Now, on our show, we publicized Majed's refugee work, and we told people how to contribute directly. But we also raised some money ourselves, and 1 month ago, working with a partner, I cut a $3,000 check to Majed's project. You can see that check here. It was cashed on August 13th, 3 weeks before this latest media frenzy made refugees cool. Now, I don't need public adulation for cutting this check. If I wanted that, I could have publicized the check 3 weeks ago. I'm not looking for kudos. I'm not looking for an apology from Paul Wells, who says I'm on the side of those tripping refugees rather than freeing them. His apology wouldn't mean anything to me, and I'm not disclosing our donation to embarrass him, actually. I'm doing it as a challenge. I bet that deep down inside, Paul Wells has the same instinct to help real victims. He just, as far as I'm aware, hasn't actually, done anything yet, except tweet. So my challenge today to Paul Wells is to match me. Cut a check for $3,000 to the real victims in Syria, not to the young man already in safety in Europe, but to the Kurds and the Yazidis and the Coptic Christians, or the Syrian and Iraqi Christians being murdered and raped. As Paul Wells says, the moral divide is stark, but it's not between people who tweet this many times versus people who tweet that many times. I think it's between people who talk versus people who do. Hey, Paul Wells, will you donate $3,000 of your own money to real refugees and show me the canceled check when you're done? And then challenge the rest of your media party friends to do the same, like that ghoulish millionaire Tabitha Southey, who said that the dead Kurdish boy in Turkey is the fault of Canada's immigration minister? She chimed in on the tripping joke too, joking about something called Trip Starter. Hilarious, supporting the refugee tripper. Well, how about actually putting your money where your mouth is? I've set up a website, www.refugeechallenge.com. Refugeechallenge.com. It's a positive thing. It's on Indiegogo. All money to Majed El Shafie's slave redemption project at One Free World International for Yazidi girls and other raped slaves. A senior editor like Paul Wells and a millionaire divorcee like Tabitha Southey can surely afford $3,000. But really, even $300 is amazing. Even $30. Frankly, $1 is more than any of them are doing right now.